So let's talk about one of the first, and frankly, one of the biggest decisions you make on any new tech project, choosing your database. It's that classic showdown, SQL versus no SQL, and getting it wrong, well, that can cause some serious headaches. So today, we're going to build a simple, practical framework to help you make the right call every single time.
I mean, if you've ever found yourself just staring at a blank architecture diagram, totally paralyzed by this exact choice, you are definitely not alone. It's so much more than just a technical detail, right? It's the very foundation of your entire application, and the pressure to get it right is, well, it's real.
This quote just absolutely nails it. A wrong turn at this stage isn't some small detour. We're talking about major performance bottlenecks, super painful data migrations, and the kind of technical debt that literally keeps you up at night. But don't you worry, we're here to hand you the map for that maze.
And let's be crystal clear. In today's world, this knowledge isn't just for some specialized database admins. No way. If you're building anything, a web app, a mobile service, an AI model, understanding this distinction is absolutely fundamental. It's a core skill for any modern builder.
All right, let's bring our two contenders into the ring. In one corner, you've got the heavyweight champion of structure and reliability. And in the other, the nimble, lightning-fast challenger built for flexibility and massive scale.
First up is SQL, which, as you know, stands for Structured Query Language. And that first word, structured, that's everything. Just imagine an immaculate digital spreadsheet. Every single piece of data has its perfect little cell in a predefined table, and all the tables are neatly linked together. This is the world of order, predictability, and very strict rules. And then you've got NoSQL, which cleverly stands for Not Only SQL. And this is a whole different animal. I want you to throw out that rigid spreadsheet idea and instead picture a super versatile, infinitely expandable filing cabinet. You can just toss in a simple key value pair, a really complex JSON document, or even a whole graph of social connections. The name of the game here is 100% flexibility.
This slide just boils it all down perfectly. Because at their core, these aren't just two technologies. They're two completely different philosophies about how to handle data. SQL is all about structure and consistency. It's like the guardian of data integrity. NoSQL, on the other hand, champions flexibility and raw speed, built to adapt and scale at a moment's notice.
Okay, so we've got the philosophies down. Now let's get a little more tactical and see how they really stack up in a head-to-head comparison. This is where the rubber really meets the road. This chart right here, this is our tale of the tape. Let's break it down. First up, the schema. With SQL, it's predefined and pretty rigid. You have to design your blueprint first, then you can fill it with data. NoSQL is dynamic. The data itself can define the schema, which means you can evolve your app without a major painful overhaul. Next, scalability. This one is huge. SQL traditionally scales vertically. You make your one server bigger and more powerful. Think of it like putting a bigger engine in your car. NoSQL scales horizontally. You just add more cheap servers to a cluster. Think more cars on the road. For modern web-scale apps, that horizontal approach is a total game changer. And that leads us to the best four category. SQL is your absolute go-to for complex queries and when data integrity is non-negotiable. We're talking financial transactions, inventory management. NoSQL just excels with these massive, ever-changing data sets, and it's perfect for rapid development cycles where you need to stay agile. So now you know the players, and you know their playbooks. But the big question is still there. Which one do you actually put on your team? Well, it's time to open up the toolkit. We're going to give you a simple but really powerful framework to make the right call for your specific project. It all comes down to asking yourself these four questions. Ask them at the start of any project. 1, how structured is your data? If it fits neatly into tables and rows, like customers and their orders, that's a really strong signal for SQL. 2, what are your scalability needs? Are you going to need to handle internet scale traffic with totally unpredictable spikes? That is a classic use case for NoSQL's horizontal scaling. 3, how important is data consistency? If you're building a banking app where every single transaction has to be perfect and atomic, you're definitely in SQL territory. And 4, what kind of queries will you run? You need to perform complex joins across many different tables. SQL was literally born for this. But if you're mostly just fetching individual documents by their key, NoSQL is going to be faster and way simpler. See, your answers will point you directly to the right choice. So, we've looked at the philosophies, we've seen the technical showdown, and we've walked through the decision-making framework. Let's go ahead and land the plane and lock in the single most important takeaway from all of this. Because here's the crucial point.
There is no winner here. This is not a battle to the death. SQL isn't better than NoSQL, and NoSQL is absolutely not better than SQL. It is never, ever about finding the best database. It's always about finding the best fit for the problem you have right in front of you. It's about choosing the right tool for the job.
So now you have the framework. You're no longer lost in that maze. You've got a compass. The next time you're faced with this big decision, you can approach it not with stress, but with strategy. You can choose your foundation with confidence. So, really, the only question left is, what are you going to build next?